one of the things I most love about Peace Fans is this idea we came up with about, was it 4 or 5 years ago, called Peace Fans Camps. And the original impetus behind Peace Fans Camps was really rooted in the rental business. I had this hypothesis around renting campsite, or campsite anxiety. You all know what campsite anxiety is? Well, I'm sure you experienced it, whether you know what it is or not. It's that fear and that anxiety of like, oh my God, I've got this great trip coming up and I'm so excited to camp and be out the outdoors, but like, oh, that campground is full and that campground is full and that one, God forbid you want to be in a national park because it filled up 6 months to the day, to the hour, to the minute it became available. And like, how do I get campsites anymore? And the rental business requires campsites. So I thought, well, what if we designed and created some of our own campsites to at least alleviate a little bit of that anxiety and give our renters 1 or 2 free nights at sort of predetermined sites. And then I thought, wow, what an amazing thing to have. And for myself, like, I am embarrassed to say it, but like, some of the best ideas come from solving your own problems. And I thought, well, oh my God, I can have my own campsites that I can take my family to and my friends to, and they're always available and they're vetted and they're clean and they're awesome and they're private and they're near something cool. So I was like, let's do this, because at Peace Fans, that's what we do. We do shit. We do cool shit. So we set out to create some campsites. Turns out it wasn't as easy as we thought. It's quite hard to convince landowners and to find the right properties, but we've been super lucky in finding them, and it has been so much fun to develop. The Joyce Campground is my personal favorite. It's technically called Olympic Wilderness Park. We refer to it internally as Joyce because the nearest town to it is Joyce, Washington. It's deep in the woods. It has the most Pacific Northwest feel you can get. There's giant trees as you drive down into the site. There's no cell phone service. There's not a lot of other amenities. Feels very private. The Twin Rivers are right there, and it's just a quiet, beautiful spot. You should watch this video of it and check it out. I hope you enjoyed watching that little clip on the Olympic Wilderness Camp, or Joyce as we call it. I've just had such amazing memories there. We've done team campouts there. I just hope more and more people visit that site. Next up, going around the peninsula, we have Kalaylock. It's hard to visit Kalaylock, or its original name was Seacrest, but it was recently renamed Aaliyah, Aaliyah Campgrounds. There's a long, wonderful story around that I can share in another time. But this is a world-class campsite. People come back from this campsite, they're like, Peace Fans, how did you do this? How did you get this site? And there's times when I go there and hang out there, and it's just on a bluff overlooking the Pacific, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe like we have access to this site. It is such an amazing piece of property, and it's just very serendipitous. The landowner read an article about us. He happens to work in the Soto neighborhood. He walked in the door one day and said, I want to do more community stuff with my property. You guys seem like you love doing community stuff. I went out to visit the site and I was like, oh my God, Adam, yes, please, whatever you want. I want this site for my community. Like I said, it's gorgeous overlooking the Pacific Bluff. There's a beautiful 10-minute trail down to the beach that goes on for miles and miles. The weather isn't always the greatest on the coast. You get a lot of marine layer blowing in, but when the sun is out and the sun sets and sometimes the moon sets on the ocean, there's nothing like Aaliyah campground. Why don't you watch this quick video on it? All right, I hope you really enjoyed that. I mean, just stunning visuals of that campground. There's room for 3 or 4 vans there. People just love it. And it's also situated right outside the national park. The Hoh Rainforest is only 45 minutes away. First, second, third beach, Ruby Beach are a short drive away. The official Kalaloch National Park campground, which is one of those campgrounds that sells out 6 months to the day when sites open, is just up the road, and between us, it's not nearly as nice as our site. So the next site we're going to continue down. There's a beautiful spot that we work with on the Hood Canal. It's called Camp Forever Young, and it's owned by a wonderful, wonderful couple, Sean and Simona. And it's a 20-acre property. It's in a clear cut, so it really feels open. The trees are all growing back in a beautiful way. And they have the most adorable working farm you've ever seen on the property. They have goats, they don't have chickens because Sean's allergic to chicken eggs, but they have ducks. They have the most incredible Great Pyrenees mountain dogs that protect all the animals. They have a couple cats. They grow all their own food. And we have 3 really wonderful private campsites there nestled in the regrowing trees with a porta potty and a hand washing station. There's swimming holes nearby. Finn River Cidery is in the neighborhood. And it's just Hama Hama Oyster Company is just an hour away from their property. It's a wonderful site with the best homey feel you've ever experienced. I love it. I feel incredibly fortunate that we have access to it. So go ahead and watch this quick video on Camp Forever Young. Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick little tour of Camp Forever Young. You saw some animals, you saw some beautiful photography, you saw some vans. It's a wonderful campsite and just the most kindest host and hostess you will ever meet. Next up is what we call Camp Happy Little Farm. And it's in the Skagit Valley, which we debated. Like, the Skagit Valley is only an hour from Seattle, not super far, but it is an ideal camping location. If you don't know the Skagit Valley, it is the breadbasket of Washington State. It's this amazing agricultural corridor that's become kind of a foodie heaven. And Camp Happy Little Farm is part of that community. They do wonderful things on their property. If you get there at the right time of year, around July and August, their farm is just bursting and you can pick your own veggies. Shelley planted a beautiful dahlia garden. You can pick your own cut flowers. They have all these other wonderful amenities on the site. The campsite faces away from the train tracks and looks out on the pastoral farm set. Maybe not as epic and grand as Kalaloch, but still such a lovely view. There's a wonderful swimming hole about a 20-minute hike away. The town of Conway, which if you're there on a Saturday night, has this crazy music bar thing going on, like kind of country homespun thing, and it's about a 20-minute walk from the campsite. And you feel like you're staying with the Schoenbergers. And the Schoenbergers have been on that property for 5 generations. Shelley was raised there. She's raising her 2 kids on the property. Her parents were raised there. Her great-grandparents homesteaded the property. And if you get a chance, Wesley, their son, operates a wonderful latte bar, which is basically him using his parents' espresso machine to make you lattes in the morning. He undercharges at about $2 a latte, so I would take advantage of that until he figures out the truth. So go ahead and watch this great little video on Camp Happy Little Farm and the wonderful family that runs it. So I hope you enjoyed that video of Camp Happy Little Farm. You saw some other cool stuff in that video. They definitely have a sauna on property, not always available or open, but from time to time it is. They have this wonderful, crazy grill cooking setup they'll give you access to. Just a really, really special property, and I'm so glad we took the time to develop it. We're also developing a really cool site near Index, Washington, which is an hour away on the way to our Cascades itinerary, and it's right on the Skykomish River. Beautiful clean water with swimming holes, a really private campsite. We're working on that, and we've got a couple other in the mix for you, so stay tuned. And we really are excited to have these available to our renters, to our members, to our employees, and to other people in our community. So go ahead and enjoy Peace Fans Camps. It's been so much fun to create those, and it's so much fun to offer them to you. Well, thanks for watching this wrap up of all of our Peace Fans Camps. Be sure to check out all the other awesome content we have on YouTube here. Whether it's learning about the Metris camper vans, see who works at Peace Fans, or all sorts of other great road trip itineraries that we have. Thanks a lot and have a great day.